And here we are again, folks. It's another Thursday night of STC Racing with me, Eckart von Glan, the friendly voice, at the microphone again, and my co-commentator Andreas Hultgren on the grid for you, racing for the Black Rebels. We're at Spa tonight, Spa-Francorchamps, the classic racetrack in Belgium, indeed, in the woods. And it's the Team GG Race, our Francophone team. They chose this track as their home track. And for those of you who don't know Spa-Francorchamps, it's a track with a very long history. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it as the race progresses. One little hint, it was first founded or first raced on in 1921, so it's one of the oldest tracks out there, 88 years old. And there's a big battle going on. It might be closed, so join the petitions online to keep this track alive. It's a classic. Well, it's race number 6 in the STC, so we're halfway through. And the overall standings for you, it's DHR GP leading with just one small point after a superb victory in the last race at Rouen. And second are Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, 212 points with one win, but many good positions. And the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, so far they haven't won anything, but they've been second and third and fourth and all over the place, so they have also collected loads and loads of points. These three are up on top, and then it's the Black Visor Motorsports in 4, Project D in 5, FlatOut Racing in 6, and so on. Right now, the warm-up has finished, and this might be a good time to tell you about the qualification results, because if you haven't followed the live timing, you might be interested to know who actually won the qualification. Well, it's a pole position for the second in the overall standings for Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. They have sent Roland Ehnström to Spa-Francorchamps, and he has done what we suspected he would do. And he took the pole position here for Danielsson Motorsports Virtual. It's orange behind him because Hannu Karesola and Rami Kaukola for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs are in 2 and 3. Then the leaders of the board, DHR GP, sending out Jack Keithley to position number 4. And after that, already 2 yellow racers, 2 yellow Porsches. It's the FlatOuts, Kevin Clark and Mike Simian in 5 and 6. And now, I'm getting all excited about this. For the first time this season, out on the track, one of my favorite racers, Tim Hogendorn, and he is, of course, with the Black Visors, and he is in position number 7. Gee, I was waiting for him to appear this season. Then we have Danielsson Motorsports Virtual racer from the team number 2, Peter Mellon, and then Andreas Leffler of the Black Rebels in position number 9. But right now I have to introduce, of course, my trusted cameraman to you, and that is none other than Jose Estrada. Hello, Jose.
Hi, Eckart. Hello, everybody.
Well, Jose, tell me, what does the camera show at this point in time with the racers going to the grid? Are we on the grid?
Yes, we are focusing in our safety car with Will. I think for the first time. I think so. I think he never dropped the safety car before. Let's see how it does.
Yep. It was a close call. He had to install everything, get everything all set and ready, and he actually joined the server with just barely 3 seconds to go, but it worked out, and here he is. Yeah, congratulations to Visser in the safety car, and it's his first time. Let's see how he's going about his business. And there he is. He has moved all the way to the front, and he is now slowly leading the pack down the straight. Well, this gives me a chance to tell you a little bit more about the track. The first straight we're going down here is a straight where the Formula 1 racers don't start, but where everybody else basically starts. It's the old start. Now we're through Eau Rouge, a turn that is actually called Radillon, but it's crossing a little river here, and that little river is called Eau Rouge, the red water, because it's obviously full of, I think, iron that makes it red. A little kink here, and then out onto the awfully long straight called Camel. And at this point on Camel, at the end of Camel is actually where the cars reach their top speed, which for the virtual races we have here should be about 300 or so simulated kilometers. And now they're breaking into a chicane, which is called leauge. It's a left-right combination and starting to go downhill from here. And that's one of the characteristics of Spa-Francorchamps. It's up and down like a roller coaster. I don't think there's a racer, either in real life or in virtual racing out there, who doesn't love it. At least it was the favorite track of a guy like Michael Schumacher. So they're now in Bruxelles, of course, which is a 180-degree turn. And this is the kink that I actually find, the one that they're doing now, that I find the most difficult on the track. Don't know why. It's downhill and then a left-hander, and it's very easy for you to actually get leaving the track here on the right-hand side. And now into double gauche, which, as the name says, is a double left-hander. Also very, very difficult to take, and notice the huge runoff area they've done here in real life, full of sand, because, again, very easy to lose control. A word about the weather. We have changing weather system. Right now it's sunny, but we all know Belgium, and it might start raining during the race. We actually had a wet qualify. But right now it's sunny, and the forecast also says it should be sunny for most of the race. Right then, out of double gauche into this combination called Fagne, and then out to a sharp right-hander called Campus, or Campus, if we pronounce it the French way. And Vice doing a great job here of the safety car driving, and he's now out on Courbe Paul Frère, and that gives me a chance to give you the standings of all the others, because all that's happening now is that they're going back to the start and finish, going into bus stop. We're having an old 2004 version of the track here, so it's still the old bus stop chicane, left, right, right, left, and then, so let me give you a rundown of the whole grid. It's Roland Ehnström in 1, Hanno Corresula in 2, Kaukola in 4, Jack Keithley in 5, Kevin Clark in 6, Mike Simian in 7, Tim Hogendorn in 8, Peter Mellin in 9, Andreas Löffler in 10. In 11 it's Ben Tusting, and you always have to delete 1 for the pace car, sorry, in 10 Ben Tusting. In 11 Tony Gunnarsson of Danielsson Motorsport's Team 1. In 12, Mikko Korkiakoski of DHR GP. In 13, Johan Pesula of Danielsson 2. In 14, Adam Shaw of the FlatOut Junior Club. In 15, Christopher Larsson of Blue Flag Racing. In 16, Carl Dubois of Fanatec. And in 18, Gaëtan Legastellois of the new team, that's Project B. In 18, Andreas Hultgreen of Flag Rebels, 19, Jeremy Trotin, 20, Sébastien Livre, also of the Project D, and then in 22, Olivier Hercek. And now, the race is open, Roland Ehnström is out on the start and finish, and for the first time he goes into Eau Rouge. Everything looks absolutely perfect. The racers are all here leaving Eau Rouge one by one. I don't see anyone in trouble except for Andreas Löffler. Little touch there when Ben Tusting in the back, and Löffler loses 1 position. They're now out onto Camel, and the race leaders actually halfway through Camel already and into that chicane there called Les Courbes. It's Roland Ehnström in front with a bit of a gap here. One of my favorite sentences at this stage is in the race, and it's orange. Behind him, Team Roaring Pipes Maniacs. And we see that there's an attack here by the DHR GP racer by none other than Jack Keithley, and he sends Hanno Corresula out into the sand trap there, but Corresula is back on track, but he drops to 5, and he now has Tim Hogendorn on his rear splitter, and that is by all means not a nice thing to have. In 7 it's Kevin Clark of the FlatOut. He also has stuck to his position basically, but Mike Simian is up in 4. He benefited from that problem that Kaukola had there with Jack Keithley. Keithley in 3, but it was Kaukola out in that problem there. Kaukola still in 2, and Roland Ehnström still in position number 1 as they're heading back towards the bus stop in the old version. Ehnström in 1. Quite a gap to Kaukola in 2, and then Keithley in 3, bit of a gap again, and Mike Simian in 4. Well, with almost a lap done, and an attack here by Jack Keithley. Jack Keithley trying to squeeze past just before the old bus stop chicane, but Kaukola with some courageous defending stays in position and stays in position number 2. Ehnström already through, into the leauge, into this hairpin, and out on the start and finish straight, and he has finished his first lap. He started off as first and he finished at first lap down of this race here. Kaukola in 2, Keithley in 3, Mike Simian in 4. Jose, you also had a look at the field from your position. Clean start?
Yeah, it seems so, and it's difficult in Spa because the rouge is very easy to touch another car and go into the barrier. So I think it was a very clean start.
Same here. Also what I saw was really great. Just now I noticed Mike Simian, he's under pressure from Rami Kaukola, who tries to regain his position, and Simian with a wild slide in Les Combes, but he kept control of his virtual ride, and he still stays in front of Rami Kaukola. So, while I was talking to Jose, not much has changed in the top 5 positions, but why should it? It's Kaukola in 2, hunted, in fact, by Jack Keithley. That is the big battle here of the first 1 or 2 laps. Kaukola now in the Fanya, in that quick kind of tiny section, and then into campus, and in this passage here it's especially important to get back onto the throttle as early as possible, not to get carried out too much like Jack Keithley has just now done, and that makes him lose a lot of time, and it might give Mike Simian a chance to come closer before the bus stop. Let's see if Keithley can take enough speed out on the straight. Yes, he can. He can keep Simian at bay here, at least for the time being, but he has lost his contact to Kaukola, so that will give Kaukola bit of a breather here. He was under huge pressure from Keithley in the first couple of minutes, and now Keithley has in turn defended from Mike Simian. We're now on the start and finish straight for the Grand Prix, for the Formula 1. They're going through leauge and out on their start and finish, and through Eau Rouge for the 3rd time. At the front, it's still Ehnström, followed by Kaukola, Keithley in 3, Simian in 4, and Kaukola waiting for his chance in 5. Let's see who gets out better onto Keithley. Clean exit, and Simian is very close. He might just get into that slipstream, and he might just start something at the end of the straight. He's already out of slipstream. Wonder why he does that. Maybe to irritate Keithley, but not close enough for an attack. But it looks to me as if Mike Simian is preparing a little something, and if I may venture a guess, it's double gauche that possibly suits the Porsche a bit better than the Corvette, which suffers from awful understeer here at Spa. Well, they're through double gauche, nothing happening there. Keithley can stay well in control of Mike Simian, can stay ahead of him, and the two have pulled away from Kaukola. I don't think that anything was broken on Kaukola's virtual ride there, but it just seems that he doesn't quite have the speed of Keithley and Simian, and nobody here on track does in fact have the speed of one Mr. Roland Ehnström, who is already up a couple of seconds here at Spa.
Going on for P9 and 10.
And my pit stopper, Mr. Wietze, who I have to interview now. Wietze, how was your first stint in the safety car?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I actually had no force feedback due some problems, I guess. So it was a little bit forky the first few corners, but after that, fortunately, it's at low speed, so I think that's enough said.
Yeah, looked great from where we were. And he supposes we should go down the grid a bit because there's a huge fight for position 9 and 10. Say my cameraman, can we do that?
Of
no
course,
answer from Jose.
Yeah.
Yes, we think we're already there.
There's also a huge fight in for position 18, 17, 16, and 15.
Yeah, I saw it in the back, but let's stick for a moment with 9 and 10. It's Tony Gunnarsson of Danielsson Motorsport and Kevin Clark of the FlatOut Racers, and they've been swapping positions in this last lap, I think 2 times, if I saw that correctly. And just before La Source, the Danielsson Motorsport Racers slipped past and then had a bit of a problem with the exit of Eau Rouge, and now it's the FlatOut racer, Kevin Clark, who is up in 9 again, followed extremely closely by Mr. Tony Gunnarsson of Danielsson Motorsports, and they seem to be on absolutely equal terms here. It's Ben Tusting of the Black Visors just in front of them in position number 8, by the way. That's the dark red car you might see slipping through the screen from time to time. And behind them it's Danielsson Motorsports Team 2, racer Johan Keithley. And now...
Whisper, there is a fight with 4 cars in...
Now Gunnarsson is on the attack. He's in the slipstream. He's out of the slipstream. He's attacking Kevin Clark, and he is on the right side. No, he isn't. Kevin Clark manages to squeeze back in, and Gunnarsson has to take it slow here into bus stop. And we're moving further down the grid, is what my cameraman tells me. And he is definitely right, because we have here positions number 14, Sébastien Levray for the Project D. We have in 15 Peter Melling for Danielsson Motorsports 2. We have the second Project D racer, that's Gaëtan Legastellois. In 16 and 17 we have Carl Dubois, and this definitely is the hottest action around. In 18 it's Andreas Hultgren, and now an attack by the Fanatec racer, by the DHR Fanatec racer in La Source. He squeezes past, but Legastellois is fighting back. No, he has to pull back. That was a great move there by Carl Dubois. Carl Dubois now into Eau Rouge, and Legastellois sliding a little, and now they're out on Camel. They have the same virtual ride, and if they have more or less the same setup, they should have about the same speed here. So really it is about who managed to get the better exit of the two. Dubois taking a defensive line here as they go into Les Combes, and Legastellois is really, really, really close. Legastellois showing himself in the mirror here, but moving back in, and Dubois again with a defensive line. Now these defensive lines sometimes leave a gap open for the attacker, and it gives especially the Danielsson guy in the green Corvette, who is just in front of them, Peter Melling, chance Now they're into double gauche here. Dubois still in front, and Ligastellois following him. They're out of double gauche, and Ligastellois has to take it easy, I think, for the time being, because Mr. Carl Dubois is very much in control of what he's doing here. For the DHR Fan Attack for the junior team of championship leaders DHR GP. Both of them a clean exit out of Courbe Paul Frère and out onto the long straight called Blanchimont. FlatOut Junior Adam Shaw behind those two, waiting for any of these to make a mistake. But it doesn't look like as if these two are about to make a mistake. And now an attack by Ligastellois in the bus stop, and he's passed. That was a brilliant maneuver, surprised me totally. I wouldn't have expected him to attack in that place, and now it's for Ligastellois to take a defensive line into La Source. Absolutely top-class racing here by these two. And Dubois sliding in the ring. Yes, please.
I think Carl made a mistake in the chicane. He went too wide in the first corner of the chicane, and that's why.
I didn't expect that, because that is not really a difficult part to take. But now he has huge exit speed going out of Eau Rouge, and he's in Camel. He is drawing up close. They're side by side, and Dubois might just make it before Lecombe. Yes, he does. And now, oh no! Little touch there by Ligastellois. It was to be expected, actually. They were so close. Fultgreen squeezes past. A Team GG racer squeezes past Ligastellois. A real gentleman waiting for Dubois. Dubois giving him the sign. Yes, okay, mate, I'm back. And now Ligastellois is back too. But he's down to 21. Jeremy Trotin moved past. Carl Dubois, of course, he let him past. Olivier Hercek for the Team GG moved past, and Andreas Fultgreen moved past too. So 3 Ferraris took the chance to squeeze past there after Ligastellois made this small mistake that sent Mr. Dubois spinning, and he let him regain his position. I think, Jose, this is a good time to do a rundown from the back to the top, since we're pretty much in the back anyway. Should we go right to the very last racer and then move all the way to the top so the teams see where their players are?
Okay, then yes, start one of your favorite rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, in this case it's a run-up, not a rundown. Yes, it's Monsieur Ligastellois in the last position. After that little push he just gave there to Carl Dubois chasing him after he was narrowly overtaken on Camel. And it was just a couple of virtual inches there that brought about this misfortune. Don't think there was any intention on Gaetan's side there to do that, and I think he's the one who is most sorry about what happened. So he's down in 21, and he has his work cut out for him, because he's definitely faster than position 21. He showed that to us in the qualifying. In 20, we have one of the Team GG Ferraris, already with a big dent on the right-hand side. It's Jeremy Trotin, who was up in the qualifying, way better than that. Now he's running wide. It looks as if he has trouble with his ride. There's this dent on the left-hand side, and he was running wide there, and he's a very secure driver, usually, so I suppose he must have some trouble with the suspension of his virtual Ferrari. Then we have Carl Dubois, the guy we just saw with a half spin there, out on Camel, and also his Porsche seems to have lost a bit of top speed, if I'm not mistaken. He looks a little bit slow out on Camel. Now he's into Lecombe, sliding a little there, but that's to be expected with the Porsche, and now downhill and into Bruxelles. Another guy who's in Bruxelles is in position number 18, Olivier Hercek, also of the Team GG. and another one of the Ferraris. Love the sound of those virtual races here. And he's chasing a white and golden and black beautiful Ferrari. And that's Andreas Hultgreen, my co-commentator. He is one half of the Andreas team that the Black Rebels sent to virtual Belgium this Thursday, and he is in position number 17. Set to do one of his trademark races, and that is start in the back, take it easy for some time, and then slowly but surely take advantage of anything you can and move up the grid, and he usually then gets pretty close to the top 10 actually in the end. So in 16 we have the sole FlatOut club racer on the grid tonight. It's Adam Shaw in the yellow and black virtual Mosler here for the FlatOut clubs. He's in bus stop right now. That's where the incident that we saw actually started, with one of the Porsches making a little mistake. And Shaw now approaching La Source and going through La Source for Team FlatOut Club. In 15, and that is a close battle here, in 15, Sébastien Livret for Project D Racing. Now the Project D guys, they're usually pretty close together, and they usually get to the finish line. They haven't finished higher than 7 so far, but still, in the overall standings, they're 5th with 160 points, so great position for them. And right now we see Livret following a Swedish double, both of the Danielsson Team 2 races, both of the green Corvettes, right in front of his nose, and it looks as if Mr. Livret is slightly faster than the guy in front, and that's Peter Melin for the Danielsson Motorsport Team 2. And he's following his teammate, Johan Pesula. And I think we should stick with this group, even though we're on a run-up or on a run-down, because that is some nice battling here. Also, actually, like the visuals of the Corvette slugging it out against the Porsches. It's Peter Malin in 14 and Sébastien Livret in 15. And that's some great racing here, folks, because we're back on our run-up to number 1, Johan Pesula. I already mentioned him in 13. Then in 12, it's my teammate, Christopher Larsson. And his father was on the grid too, Christopher Larsson, but I'm afraid he just sent me a message that he had a huge freeze in the warm-up, and he had to leave the game, so it's only one blue flag racer out there, and that's another Corvette. It's the black, orange and blue Corvette, designed actually by father Christer Larsson and its son Christopher Larsson here, taking it through its paces. And we just saw one of the Danielsson drivers, so we're going back down again to 13, 14 and 15, because they're playing the defending game here against Monsieur Livret. One of them had a bit of a problem going into bus stop, and the other shields him brilliantly against the Porsche that is coming on. That is teamwork the way we want to see it. Very well executed, nothing unfair there. Perfect move that we watched there in the background. So it's Pesula in 13 and Melin in 14. Well, on the way up again, Christopher Larsson in 12. Jose, can you still follow me, or are you getting all twiddly because I jump back and forth?
No, I can follow you, and I could also. Oh, now.
Now it's time for Christopher Larsson.
Into the grass.
Yeah, the FlatOut racer went into the grass, and it's a chance for Larsson to slip by. Position number 11 now for him. And the FlatOut racer was none other than Kevin Clark, because we have Mike Simian pretty much up front. It must be Kevin Clark. Kevin Clark is now down to 12 then, due to that little mistake that we just saw on the screen. Christopher Larsson in 11, and now we really must move to that other Andreas there. Andreas Leffler in position number 10, a racer from Germany, I guess, a countryman of mine, and he's in the Black Rebels Ferrari. And then in 9 we have Tony Gunnarsson, the second of the Danielsson Motorsports Team 1. In 8, we have Ben Tusting, the second of the Black Visor racers. In 7, Mike Simian. He lost some places. He was up a bit higher at the beginning of the race, if I remember correctly. In 6, Tim Hogendorn for the Black Visors, and he has gained ground a little. In 5, Mikko Korkiakoski, who was not even in the top 10 on the grid, so he must have made some excellent moves in these first 7 or so laps of the race. In 4, his teammate Jack Keithley, who then actually is down a little, which means we have the RPM gang back together again. In 3, Rami Kaukola, who could regain the position he lost. In 2, Hannu Karesola, still staying in 2, I suppose, for all of the race up to this point. And in 1, Mr. Roland Ehnström for Danielsson Motorsport, and he has been the race leader ever since the start, and the gap that he has amassed here looks kind of big to me. Must be at least 10 to 12 seconds from what I can see. He's out of double gauche, and Hannu Karesola is just on his way into double gauche, so I would say it's rather more than 15 seconds, so it looks like a brilliant race up there in position number 1, the kind of performance we saw from DHR GP in the last 2 races, and this time it's Danielsson's turn to put in one of these awesome, absolutely awesome, outstanding performances. Well, Jose, is there still this battle going on there for the positions 10, 11 and so on?
Yeah, this track is very long, but we are seeing a lot of battles, and the cars are pretty close, even more than in other short tracks when that is more normal or expected.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised too, especially about this bunch of races there, like 5 or 6 of them. In one whole bunch. And where are we now with the camera?
Well, we are in P4 because also there is
great fight.
Good fight.
Yeah, great fight. I totally agree. We should stick with that because this is really also the fight between the teams who are slugging it out for the overall standings, isn't it? It's RPM in position number 3 with 207 points, and DHR GP in position number 1 with 213 points, so they're only 6 points apart, and with RPM in 2 and 3 and DHR GP in 4 and 5, both of them are going to get a massive amount of points, but at this stage it looks as if RPM can gain a little. So Kaukola has taken back his position, Keithley in 4, and from what I can see, the fastest of those guys up here is actually Mikko Korkiakoski. He is slowly approaching the others, and he's had a long way up the grid from, I think, position number 11 or 10 that he held in the qualification, and so he must be a little faster than the guys here in position 2, 3 and 4, who seem to have roughly the same pace. They've been stuck like glue ever since the beginning of the race. Simian had to drop back a little. Obviously there must have been a little mistake somewhere or some problem for him, and he couldn't quite keep to that pace. Kaukola now with some problems in double gauche, getting towards the outside a little, but that didn't cost him too much time. And from what I have seen in the last races, all those races we see here, positions number 2, 3, 4 and 5, so both of the RPM guys and both of the DHR GP guys are more of the let's wait and see school, so we probably won't see too many unexpected moves from them. We probably will see that they will be watching each other for quite a long time. Well, this gives
maybe.
Yes, okay. Time to move down the grid a little, and let's catch up on that huge fight there in position. I think it was 10 and 11, wasn't it? And here we see the two Black Visors racers, Ben Tusting in front. We've seen a lot of his action on the STC circuit this season, and Tim Hogendorn following him closely in PA. Nice image here of both of these beautiful black and red BMW M3 virtual racers going down Camel and into Lecombe. And if I'm not mistaken, Hogendorn is at this moment in the race a little faster than Mr. Tusting, so we might see Hogendorn pass him in not maybe this lap, but one of the next 2 or 3 laps. But that's just a guess that I'm doing here. So we're moving further down the grid. Hogendorn in 8. And my teammate Christopher Larsson, he was in a huge battle in position number 13 actually, and he's now up to 10, and he's all alone. Which means that the guys he was doing battle with must all have had a little bit of a problem one way or the other. Let's check out what the standings are behind Christopher Larsson in 10. In 11 we have Johan Pesula after Danielsson Motorsport 2.
And
really close to... Yes, Vita, jump in.
Moment. Andreas Lopra is in the pits. He probably
and he lost his splitter, yes. Or... Yep,
and
I saw him on the screen.
Was in the pits.
Oh dear, that was the Porsche racer of the DHR FlatOut team we saw turned in the Lecombe earlier, and he might have sustained some damage there, which then led to a second more serious problem for him, because I think at least, oh well, we might also run into the regular stops at this point. But now I see on my screen that unfortunately Mr. Dubois had to leave the race, so there obviously was some more serious problem, maybe some problem with the hardware. Things like losing your force feedback can really be quite painful in the middle of the race. Well, we are with position 11, I guess, Jose, aren't we?
No, we are following Andreas Hultgren in position 15.
Okay. So down to 15 it is. It's Hultgren in 15 in the Black Rebels Ferrari, and he is following the Danielsson racer Peter Mellin, who dropped 1 or 2 positions. He was very close to his teammate before, but now it's Hultgren slowly approaching him. And then it's Adam Shaw in the FlatOut Junior Mosler behind Mr. Hultgren. And behind him we have Monsieur Hercek of the Team GG in another Ferrari. Hultgren now out of Eau Rouge, jumping a little here across the... and ooh, that was close. He just narrowly missed the wall towards the pit lane exit, and let's hope that he didn't get a warning for that. You can actually pick up a very measly warning there, and that can send you to a stop and go if you do that once too often. So let's hope that my co-commentator Andreas was not spotted by the marshals doing this for the umpteenth time, but let's hope that he did it for the first time here as we watched. So Andreas Hultgren in 15, and he's feeling the heat of the Mosler there, Adam Shaw, and of Monsieur Hercek in the GG Ferrari a little bit behind. Nice slide there by Mr. Shaw, going into that turn, that left-hand turn before double gauche. But now in double gauche, Hultgren managed to consolidate his lead, and Adam Shaw couldn't quite take double gauche as far as Hultgren did.
Yes, I think Andreas Loeffler from TBR has lost his splitter and is in 20th position, so I think he had an accident.
He must have had an accident. I also saw him on the screen while I was moving through the standings, trying to get a feel of what was going on, and he was there at that point down to 15 without a splitter, and it seems to be that the TBR racers don't really fancy the Ferrari splitter much. We saw a TBR without splitter in the last race too, didn't we, Jose?
Yes, I think we are not feeling really good with this car. I think this is not being our best season. What to say? Hoping for a better one in the next one.
Okay. There's always a next season, as they say, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Jose, I suppose you should move to position 12 and 13, because there we see two Porsches doing a nice fight on Camel. Kevin Clark of the team FlatOut, battling with Sébastien Levray of the team Project D. And they are very close, and Kevin Clark is having one hell of a time keeping the Porsche on the track, and with 45 minutes or almost 45 minutes of the race gone, it might be that the tires start wearing off. Look at that slide here by Kevin Clark, and he is now in turn under attack by Peter Melling. Peter Melling, just in front of Double Gauche, is on the inside, but he wasn't close enough. Kevin Clark holds on, but just so. And if Melin gets the exit in Cour-Paul Frère, correct, he might have a chance on that long approach to bus stop. He should be a wise guy now and hold back a little, even though Clark is having serious trouble here in these turns. And he should now concentrate on the exit at exactly this point. If he gets that turn now, absolutely 100% correct, and he does, He's on the inside now. And what a brilliant exit for him. But he's on the wrong side if they approach bus stop in this position. So Melin should, and he has. Melin gets past. Brilliant move there. Getting one heck of an exit speed helps him to first move up and then move past Kevin Clark in the FlatOut Porsche. Peter Melin now up to 13. Some serious racing here, folks. And Kevin Clark in 14, but still taking the Porsche for another lap. Even though I suppose if you look at the way that Porsche is twittering from left to right, if you look at that slide here in La Source, I suppose his tires are down pretty much. And well, 7 virtual kilometers is a long ride if your car, or if your virtual car feels like what Kevin Clark's must feel right now. He's lifting in Eau Rouge to take it safely through, and that of course takes away much of the needed exit speed for Camel. Well, great fighting here. And Wietse, have you been checking up on the pits? Do we have pit action already, apart from Mr. Loeffler, who had to repair his racer?
No. On this moment, nobody has pit already. I can only inform you that Jack Keithley and Mikko Korkiakoski have passed Hanno Kaukola.
Okay.
Where Hanno has, seems like a little bit of problem with his tires here and there, so...
Yep, it's just the time of the race.
A pit stop from him.
Yeah, same as for Kevin Clark. So, Jose, we should move to Mr. Hannu Karesola of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, and I suppose he's in position 5 now. And there we have him, going into Eau Rouge. So, Wietse, wrong prediction. It's 1-all with wrong predictions. I predicted a move that never happened, and you predicted a pit stop that never happened. Karesola still doing another lap. And yes, we can see that both of the DHR GP have passed him, and he is also not within striking distance. Let's watch a little for that tire wear that you suspected, and yes, he is in fact, if you look at the way he turns into the into the turns. I don't know how to say it. He moves in a little early, so to speak, and lets the car go sliding into the turn. And for me, with the BMWs, that's always a sign of the tires going away. We just had a bit of a freeze there by one of the DHR GP racer. Let's hope it's not a serious line problem for him, Mr. Jack Keithley, and that puts him down to 5. Yep, that was a massive freeze he had, just coming out of Bruxelles, and it looks though as if the car is not damaged, and that's the kind of stuff that sim racers absolutely love, isn't it? So, Kaukola up in 4, and let's see if he's pitting now. I watched the guys in the front, and Mr. Ehnström still in position number 1, safely. Sorry, Roland, we're not showing much of you, but it's just a very lonely race for you up there. And he passed the pit entry, so he's taking his BMW for another lap. But if I look at Mr. Kaukola here and the way his Beamer, and there he goes, into the pits. So, pretty good prediction there, Wietze. And I think he's the first of the fast guys to pit here. He's down now to pit lane speed. And this will be the time when he's fidgeting with his pit controls, setting the right amount of fuel to be added, setting the right tires, maybe possibly changing the strategy at this point, because he has to pit so early. It might be that he changes some of the settings. And in the background we see one of the black visors passing him, and goodness, that pit entry is long indeed for the touring cars.
Oh, and Ben Tosting made a big mistake in the pit. He just
in the pit? Oh dear, in the pit entrance.
No, actually halfway the pit.
Oh. Is that entry of pits or exit of pits?
No, just after leauge.
Ah, okay, so it was one of these mistakes where you get pulled to the right-hand side a little and then can't regain the track properly.
Probably, yeah. Luckily he was in the pit, so I hope he doesn't have too much trouble recovering.
Yep. Well, we have Kaukola exiting the pits, passing their posters there of our sponsor Simboot. And now it's out onto Camel, and bit of a dangerous pit exit, isn't it? Because these guys are coming out of Eau Rouge as you're coming out of the pits.
It can be pretty dangerous. But the good racer always checks his mirror, so probably he sees when another racer is around.
Yeah, let's face it, these are all very experienced guys we're watching, so I don't think we'll have much trouble there. But I also remember one or two instances where I got hit or nearly hit, exiting the pits by somebody who had problems in Eau Rouge.
But it seems like it's a rush hour now in the pit.
Brilliant, keep up the picture.
Fitting out. Bastien Levret is just exiting. And get on.
Mike Simian just going in. Korkiakoski going in. Ehnström still out. Jeremy Trotin going in. Also Sans Splitter. Les Gastellois leaving. Adam Shaw leaving for FlatOut Club. Leffler still or again without a splitter on the track.
Tim Hogendoorn is also making his pit stop.
Okay.
But Mike Simian just behind it.
Larsson going for another lap.
In front of him.
And he is known for taking these careful lines that really are soft on the tires. So he might be taking the Corvette for another 2 or 3 laps, if I'm not mistaken. And that puts him in position number 6. Sounds good to my blue flag ears. Position number 3, actually. Go, Christopher, go!
Yeah, Mikko Korkiakoski has also made his pit. He's still in the pit.
Yeah. Kaukola also in the pits.
And it looks like he has some trouble entering.
Kaukola already out. He's now in Eau Rouge in position number 4. And right behind him is twin brother, RPM twin brother, Rami Kaukola. Enters the track. So both the RPM racers have done the pit. Both are back on track. Korkiakoski leaving the pits. Mike Simian has left the pits. Tim Hogendorn just leaving the pits. And he is just behind his teammate Ben Tusting. So the BMWs like to do it in style today. They like to be out in pairs. And Johan Pesula of the Danielsson Motorsport has also done his pit stop and is now on the long pit exit. And just as his teammate Peter Mellin. And Mellin turns in the pit exit. Taking it a little faster on the fresh tires. That cost him something like 5 to 10 seconds. But now he's powering the Corvette out onto the Camels. Andreas Löffler getting used to racing without a splitter here. So, rush hour in the pits, as you said. Andreas Hultgreen for the Black Rebels, also just out of the pits. And Mr. Ehnström is still out there. Jose, I suppose we should stick with the race leader at this point, because there's so much going on behind him that we're losing kind of count of what's going on. And let's take him through his pit stop and let's see how much of a distance he has to position number 2 as he comes back onto the track. Should we do that?
I think it's a good idea.
Keithley is making his pit.
Okay, so we've had both of the DHR GP racers. Good news. Sad news is he'll be dropping down from position number 3 that he held for 1 lap. Well done, Christopher.
And RPM did a great job at their pit stop strategy because they're 2 and 3 again.
Yep, it worked like magic. They pitted in different laps, and now Ehnström is going into the pits. So let's see the race leader here in the pits, and let's have a look. Jose, as he leaves the pits, then quickly go to the second positioned guy so we can kind of watch the difference between the two, okay?
Yes, I'm following Hanu now, and he's
okay,
pretty far.
Yeah, okay, follow Hanu, and I'll tell our viewers when Ehnström is coming back out on track, so you can then measure the time difference basically by yourself. So Ehnström's still in the pits, and while he's in the pits, and while you're watching Kaukola, let me tell you a little strange story here that happened at the very first race ever set at Spa-Francorchamps. It was back in 1921. They provided the track, they finished everything, they set everything up, supposing it was a great venue for racing. Track at that time was still 14 kilometers long. Sad thing is, only one racer turned up. We have many more tonight, but only one racer turned up, so the first ever race at Spa-Francorchamps was actually postponed because nobody bothered to show up. That is from the world of weird facts, straight to you.
Yeah, but the guy that show up shouldn't be really happy, because I suppose he wanted to win, not to perform the race.
Yep, indeed. And with Ehnström now on the pit exit, he doesn't spin, and he is out on Camel now. Ehnström out on Camel now, and Kaukola is out on the start and finish straight. So they have something like Eau Rouge and the start and finish straight between them. That is a lot of time. I would again put it down to something like 12 to 15 seconds. Well, with the pits behind us, let's see about the positions here. Ehnström in number 1, Karesula in number 2, Rami Kaukola in number 3. And then there's a sizable gap behind him. They have, in fact, the Roaring Pipes Maniacs guys have seem to have had an outstanding pit stop strategy. DHR are no slouches when it comes to strategy, but it seems that the Maniac guys have really outdone them this time. It's Keithley in 4, and look at the distance between him and Kaukola. This is not what I would call striking distance, so the DHR GP guys have their work cut out for them for the second half of this very interesting race. Jack Keithley in 4, Mikko Korkiakoski close behind him in 5, and Mike Simian of FlatOut has gained some positions, pitting. He is now in 6, showing a very strong race indeed. In 7 and 8 we have the Black Visor twins, Ben Tusting in 7, Tim Hogendorn in 8, and at this point in the race they seem to have absolutely the same speed, because that is how they exited the pits, with about that distance, and of course a lap hitting between them, and that is where they stayed 2 laps later. Tim Hogendorn in 8, Tony Gunnarsson, sorry mate, we haven't shown much of you, the second of the Danielsson Motorsports racers, in 9, solid race by him. He's been more or less holding on to this position for the whole race we've watched so far. Gunnarsson in 9 and Ehnström in 1. That's what I call a nice team result for Danielsson Motorsports. Johan Peisula, who has had a very busy night tonight, and he is in 10 and under heavy attack from Sébastien Livre. Let's stick with those two for the time being. Livre in 11 and Peisula in 10. It's the position where Christopher Larsson was before the pits, so I fear that... oh, and there's a spin! There's a spin by Peisula going into bus stop. He misjudged the brake point, and he's down to 12 because the second of the FlatOut racers slips past as well. Peisula doing a spin, and I can just see Christopher Larsson there in 13 coming up behind him. So Larsson down from 10 to 13. And Peisula in 12. Misjudging his brake point, obviously. Kevin Clark slipped past, and of course Sébastien Livre slipped past just as we were watching. Peisula in 12. Christopher Larsson out of La Source in 13. He is now in the Danielsson Team 2 sandwich, because it's Peter Mellin right behind him. Peter Mellin in 14. Andreas Löffler of the Black Rebels. Sans splitter. Dommage, dommage. I'm afraid to say that these Ferraris of the Black Rebels seem to have a huge splitter problem, folks. Löffler in 15. And the second Andreas Hultgreen in 16. So they're back to back now, the 2 Black Rebels racers. Adam Shaw, the second of the FlatOut Juniors, in 17. Did I say earlier they only fielded 1 car? I take it back. They field 2 cars. Adam Shaw in 17. Gaëtan Ligastellois, looking pretty banged up. Ooh, look at that front of that Porsche there. He has been in a few of the fights here. Ligastellois, the handling must be dreadful with your virtual ride banged up like that. In 18, which makes him about the last racer on the track. Let's have a look. No, we still have Monsieur Hercek, Olivier Hercek of Team ZZ, whose home race this is, in case you've forgotten. So he's one of the home crowd here, Olivier Hercek, in position number 19. And then his teammate, Monsieur Jérémy Trotin, also sans splitter. No splitter at all on this Ferrari, in position number 20. Ferrari races, you must phone, where are they produced? Modena? There must be a problem here with these GTR Evo mod Ferraris. They seem to be splitter happy. Yes, and in fact, Trotin is the last racer still racing here on the grid. We're down to 20 from 22 in the qualification and 21 who could join the race. Trotin having some huge problems here with the car and going out just in front of bus stop. Yes, please.
Yes, Eckhart, Roland Ehnström is about to start a new lap. What do you think if we follow him for the world lap?
A whole lap. Yes. Yeah. He deserves it. Yeah. He deserves every single second of the airtime he gets. Yes, indeed. So there we are then.
Look at the gap.
Yep. Go ahead. What is it?
If you take a look at the gap he has with number 2, it's just incredible. This guy is in the league right now.
Have you got access to the live timing and can tell us how many seconds it is?
He has 24 seconds.
24 seconds with a bit more than half the race gone, so I predict it's going to be 35 at the end of the race. That is indeed in a class of its own, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Just too fast for this race, probably.
I'm glad I'm not out there. Okay, and Danielsson Motorsports, of course, they're a very professional sim racing team, Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. They have actually provided me with some information on the racers, and let me give you some facts here about Mr. Ehnström. As you see him just coming out of double gauche, he's 30 years old, a little place called Norrtälje in Sweden, and he has spent more than 15 years, dig this, more than 15 years at the top of international sim racing. His most impressive wins include the 2006 Sim Challenge, the 2007 Virtual Grand Prix, and the 2008 VW1. Sorry mates, whatever that is. He has been winning all 7 seasons he entered in the Swedish Sim Racing League. That was GTR1 and GTR2.
Eckhart, sorry.
Yes,
VW1, I think, is the VWTCC, the World Touring Car Championship, the virtual World Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, that was the one
with
that
final.
Yep, where he was turned in one of the last laps, and then the guy who turned him and actually won the race was later then not disqualified, but I think got something like 15 seconds slapped on by the race direction, which was only fair, because Ehnström was clearly in front in that corner, and then Ehnström actually secured the World Championship live on TV. Yeah, so he is one outstanding racer. Just watch how he flies through Eau Rouge. For us pedestrians, that would be absolutely impossible to do. It's a joy to watch him race, isn't it? And it says here in his driver info that he likes oversteer. Now these are the guys who really, you know, who are really in control of what they're doing. And if I have oversteer, it goes like, oh my god, I have oversteer. And he actually likes it, and you can see it in the way he races, and that gives him those extra seconds as he gets out of the turns. I mean, if you have oversteer, and if you really know how to change from oversteer to actually throttling out of the turn, that gives you that extra speed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's, well, there is very fast people with very different kind of driving. But seriously, he controls this technique really like a master. And also the car they choose, I think, is very good for Roland's driving style, because the M3 tends to oversteer.
Okay. I suppose if I had Roland Ehnström on my team, I would pick whatever car the guy says we should pick, because it would provide him with the perfect race feeling that he needs.
Maybe you can make a good offer, a cut to bring him to Blue Flag.
Yeah, I think even the name, I don't think that guy has ever seen a blue flag, so maybe he doesn't even quite know what a blue flag is actually. And so yeah, we might give him an offer, but on the other hand, it might make us feel so bad. You know, I feel awfully bad compared to Christopher Larsson, who is a really fast guy. But if I look at this here, I would feel just dreadful. So, hats off to Roland Ehnström, and enough of giving kudos to him. We have other fabulous racers out there. Let's check on the positions 2, 3, and 4, what the RPM guys are up to, shouldn't we?
Position 3, Hanno Garosola is just making his pit stop. I don't know if he made a pit stop earlier, but he's making one now.
Yep, he has, and it might be a stop and go. You never know. And Monsieur Trotin has left the game, we see on our screens. Garosola still on the pits. That can only mean that something went wrong with his first pit stop, can't it? As in, he didn't get the fuel he wanted.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
We must find out on the forum later. And he's now down to position number 9. Now that is, of course, serious trouble for the title ambitions of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, because both of the DHR GP racers are still in the race, and they are now in positions number 3 and 4, which would give them, let me have a look at my points table. And there we are, shuffling through my papers here. Position number 3 gives you 26 points, position number 4 gives you 23 points, so the DHR GP guys at this point in the race would get 49 points. And Danielsson Motorsports have a racer in position number 1 and a second racer in position number 8, namely Tony Gunnarsson. So that would give them 32 plus 19, which comes up to 51 points, so slightly more than the DHR GP guys. And the Roaring Pipes Maniacs have their best man in position number 2, worth 29 points, and now Garosola in 18, which would give them 47 points, the least haul of all these 3 top teams. So I suppose whatever went wrong there, Garosola is going to try to get at least 1 or 2 positions back on the track. He is, Garosola he is down to Tony Gunnarsson a long way. It's all of that second long straight there, Blanchimont. Just as he went into Blanchimont, Gunnarsson went into the pit stop chicane. So he does have a long way to go to catch Gunnarsson, and it might just be impossible because that Danielsson Motorsport racer, Tony Gunnarsson, is no slouch, I can tell you. And we are actually nearing the end of the race, aren't we? I mean, it's 10:15 on my watch. How much time is left in the race? Does anyone have access to that information?
Yes, it's 22 minutes.
22 minutes comes up to about 10 laps. So 10 laps to go for the races here. And 10 laps for Kaukola to catch Gunnarsson. And I've just been switching back and forth between the two. They have all of Camel between them, so they have either of the two long straights between them, and I doubt, even with Kaukola being a great racer, I doubt whether he can close that gap. So, bad luck for RPM. Could have been worse. They could have lost a racer altogether. They still have both racers up there, but it's just the fact that Danielsson Motorsports and DHR GP have the racers in slightly better positions. And as I'm talking, we're following my teammate, Christopher Larsson, who is, as I said before, in the Danielsson Motorsports sandwich. Peter Mellon just behind in the green Corvette, and Johan Peisula in front in another one of the green Corvettes. So it's a Corvette sandwich here for our blue flag Corvette. And Larsson 13, and showing a great fight here against the Danielsson guys. Very close racing, and what I really like about a situation like that is that, I mean, the basic layout is the same. They have picked the same virtual racers, both teams, and now it's down to the setup that the drivers chose for this race. Now it's down to the strategy they chose for the race, because it's like one of these cups that we have, you know, these Alfa Romeo cups or VW cups or whatever. And now a mistake there. Approaching bus stop by the Danielsson Motorsports racer in front, who rejoins the track. Let's see what's happening now. That was Peter Mellon, and he lets the other two pass. But now it's an attack by Johan Peisula going into La Source, but Christopher Larsson can stay just in front. Peisula actually touching the wall just a little as he went into La Source and had to, you know, disappear basically because Larsson, and it was his turn of course, Larsson was in front, Larsson was turning in, and Peisula had nowhere to go and touched the wall, but just a little. Very gentleman racing here by Peter Mellon, who missed the breakpoint going into bus stop and then just went through. Hopefully he didn't get a warning there by the marshals, and then he let the other two racers pass, because that of course was an unfair advantage taken, but an unfair advantage given away at once by Mr. Peter Mellon. All this brought to you live on PSR TV by the STC, the Sim Racing Team Challenge, and we're sponsored by simboot.com, and of course we're also sponsored by GameHosters.net, who provide the technical side here, who provide the services, and we're sponsored by PikesPeak.com virtual racing community. Huge fight between the Corvettes here at virtual Spa-Francorchamps, with, I would guess, about 8 to 9 laps still going. We have a battle for position 12. That's the Dirty Dozen. You see here, position 12, 13, and 14. Alright, and we're with Mr. Hannu Kareisula, who had the mysterious pit stop, and seeing how he slides out of La Source and seeing what kind of speed he had before, there must be some problems with his virtual ride, with the beautiful black and orange BMW of Team Roaring Pipes Maniacs, because he was able to go the speed at the top of the grid, and now he has to really fight and give it all to defend against Kevin Clark, who is in position 10 and pushing, of course. He notices, he realizes that he has a chance of actually overtaking Kareisula, which would put FlatOut in a very good position team-wise. They would then have Mike Simian, I suppose, up in 6 or maybe even 5, and Kevin Clark now in 10, maybe in 9 in just a few seconds. They are now approaching double gauge out of this nameless turn here, 90-degree turn, and into double gauge. And if you have problems with your ride, with the handling, double gauge is definitely not the place to be. Kevin Clark is doing a lot of sliding as well, so again, the race coming to, not coming to a finish, but with the finish approaching, he also might have a tire problem here, because look at that. He cannot really gain on Kareisula, and on the other hand, Kareisula cannot really pull away. So they're pretty even at this stage in the race with 15 minutes to go. And I've just been checking the positions. It's the second of the DMR Team 1 racers, right in front of them, position number 8. And then in positions number 7 and 6 we have both the black visors. Hogendorn in 7, Tusting in 6, and in 5 it's Mike Simian. So not much has changed there. And in 3 and 4, of course, still DHR GP on the way to many points, which they need for the defense of their overall title. Kareisula going down the long top speed straight Camel, and now into Le Corb, and another slide there. The slides, actually he seems to have more of a problem going out of the turns than going into the turns, whatever that means. Yeah, really showing a great fight here by Hannu Kareisula, defending his position against the yellow and black flat-out Porsche of Kevin Clark. But Clark, in this lap that we've been watching, didn't really have a chance to make a move. It's these 50 or so or 30 virtual meters that he's behind, and he has been unable. Little mistakes like the one that he has just put in make it difficult for him to pass. And we see on our screen that the second of the Team GG, Monsieur Oliver Hercek, has left the game, unfortunately, so it's a pity to say, but Team GG in their home Grand Prix have to make do sans points, with no points at all. And now Kevin Clark really leaving the track quite wide there, and into bus stop again. Nice slide by Clark here, going out of La Source. But That looks great on the screen, but it costs you a lot of speed as you go out of the turn. And we're in position 89 here with Adam Shaw of the FlatOut Club Racers in the yellow and black muffler. And he is currently out of the Paul Frere. And that is the last car on the grid. With both of the GG racers gone, we're down to 18. Brave souls still slugging it out, still fighting here at Spa-Francorchamps in what must be the last 12 or 13 or so minutes of the race. And Jose, since we're with Adam Shaw now, should we do a final run-up and then focus on the front positions for the last few minutes of the race?
Okay, perfect. I think it's a good idea.
Alright, we're with Adam Shaw in 18, taking home some much needed points for the FlatOut Juniors, for the FlatOut Club Racers. And in 17 we have the pretty much banged up Porsche of Gaëtan Legastellois, and he's having a hard time just keeping that virtual racer on the track. The steering must be beyond anything that your everyday racer could manage. Must be quite a handful here, but Gaëtan is trying to make the best of it. In position number 17, and let's not forget, he's still on the grid, he's still racing, and he's still in the points. Position number 17 would give him 10 points, and it's 10 points. Better to have 10 points than to have none at all. In position 16, Andreas Hultgreen of the Black Rebels. He didn't quite make the move I thought he would make. He wasn't quite able to move closer to the top 10 in the course of the race. We haven't seen so much of him, I'm afraid, in the Black Rebels Ferrari, and he was more or less stuck in that position for most of the race. Position number 15 is his teammate Andreas Löffler, who seems to have gotten pretty used to racing without a front splitter, because he's been doing that for the whole second part of the race. Obviously he figured out that taking it from here would be better than losing 30 to 40 seconds in the pits. And so he's been racing like this, and obviously he knows how to do it. Just watch him going through La Source, clean lines. In 14, we have Peter Mellin, and we have still that fight going on there with my teammate Christopher Larsson, defending for all it's worth against both the Danielsson Motorsport racers, but now going into Bruxelles. It was very, very, very close indeed against 13th positioned Johan Pesula. That was top racing by both players here, because a lot could have gone wrong, especially with the Corvette in that turn. Well done, both of you, Johan Pesula in 13 and Christopher Larsson in 12. Sébastien Levray of the Project D Racing, just in some trouble, as he's out of Courbe Paul Frere. He loses it for a second, but he's still racing in position number 11. Position number 10, that's the fight we've been watching before, Kevin Clark of the FlatOut Racing, and just in front of him, Hannu Karesola of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, with a BMW that shakes awfully under braking and understeers like hell going out of the turns. Tony Gunnarsson, a rather uneventful race for him, but he brings back some serious points. Position 8, 19 points for him, and for Danielsson Motorsports. Position number 7, Tim Hogendorn of the Black Visors, and he has to let go his teammate Ben Tusting. They used to be side by side for most of the race, but right now Hogendorn is all alone in Bruxelles. Ben Tusting out of Bruxelles, out of that left-hander and into double gauche for him in position number 6. Great race by Mr. Tusting. That's pretty much the position he had for most of the race. Position number 5 for Mr. Mike Simian of the FlatOut. Again, bringing home some serious points for that team. Much needed, 22 points for him at this moment in time. Position number 4, Mikko Korkiakoski. And he's not that far away from Mike Simian. Watch that. Some trouble here by Korkiakoski going into bus stop, bus stop there, and Simian has again moved just a little closer. Position number 3, second of the DHR GP racers, Jack Keithley. Great race by him too, and he has moved from position number 4 on the grid up to number 3. And then in position number 2, the second Roaring Pipes Maniacs racer, Rami Kaukola. An absolutely flawless race from what I could watch by him, but there's another guy in position number 1 because he's supposedly living on a completely different planet to you and to me and most other people out there. It's Mr. Roland Ehnström, who is now approaching the group, struggling there for position 12 and 13, the 2 Danielssons and the Blue Flag racer. And as we can see, the first of the Danielsson racers has moved past Christopher Larsson, and Mr. Ehnström is now taking a first-class seat here in watching what looks like an outbraking maneuver by his teammate just as they approach the bus stop chicane. And there is the maneuver, and it's gone wrong. It's gone wrong. The Danielsson Motorsport Team 2 player has misjudged the situation, has overshot the mark, and is now left by Mr. Ehnström and is down. And my teammate Christopher Larsson can breathe a very, very deep sigh of relief, just as I have done. Because that looked pretty close and could have gone worse. But great handling here by all racers again, and Ehnström still in 1. Okay, my pit spotter, Vicevisor, tells me it's 5 minutes left of the race. Mr. Ehnström in position number 1. Roland Ehnström going into Les Combes. We talked about him before. We talked about all his titles, his long sim racing career, and it's going to be one more win for him tonight. If nothing unsuspected happens, if his machine at home stays true to form, if his line stays clear, and if our trusted servers at gamehosters.net do what they always do, function perfectly.
Yeah, I hope for Christopher Larsson that he doesn't get a black flag for not giving in his blue flag, because he's in front of Roland Ehnström for quite a while now.
Yep, but I, for one, who is quite experienced with blue flags, can tell you that I think by the time he sees the second one, he's going to slow down immediately. So it might be that he's just slipping out of the blue flag field by a little bit and then slipping back in. I've had situations like this before where you get like a blue flag for the first time, I don't know what, 10, 15 times in a row, because you're always just narrowly slipping out. Now it looks as if Larsson is slowing down to let him pass before bus stop, and there it is. Let's hope that... Ooh, and he gets pushed by the second Danielsson Motorsports Team 2 racer. Ehnström has to take a shortcut as well. that was bad luck for Christopher Larsson. He was slowing down to let Ehnström pass because obviously he got the blue flag warnings and obviously he was, due to the game's logic, close to a disqualification. And then the second of the Danielsson Motorsport racers there, sorry folks, I will give you the name in half a second. It's Mr. Peter Melling. Took advantage of the situation actually, moved in, and then misjudged a little the difference to Christopher, banged into him, sent him off the track, but they've both been able to recover, and we're lucky that they didn't take out Mr. Ehnström. That would have been so awful, taking out your teammate in this situation. I think Mr. Peter Melling would not have slept well the next 2 or 3 nights. But as it is, now both of the Danielsson Motorsports racers have passed Christopher Larsson, who is down to 14. And Ehnström is quickly putting some virtual tarmac between his ride and this fighting group there, so that a situation like that doesn't arise again. And also it looks as if Larsson's car has taken some damage because he is now considerably slower than Peter Melling. And I don't know how much he was actually slower before and just very awfully blocking the Danielsson guys, but it looked to me as if it was definitely much more racing than blocking, so I suppose he now has some trouble obviously with the back suspension and has to slow down. Vice, my trusted pit guy, what about the time? How many minutes still left?
We got 1 minute left.
1 minute. So Ehnström, who is just lapping Johan Pesula, will then go out on the last lap now, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, probably we do 2 laps now from this.
Yeah, sorry. The last one. Then he finishes, and then yep, exactly. Then yeah, my mistake. He has to do another one. So probably 2 laps from now, the race will be over. We have a dominating ride here by Mr. Roland Ehnström for Danielsson Motorsports. Well, with the race winding down, just another 4 minutes to go. Jose, quick summary of the race from you.
Well, I think Roland dominated, no doubt about that. But I think quite interesting fight during all the race between the teams that are close in the standings, like RPM and DHR, and also Danielsson Motorsport. Their cars were very close in different parts of the race, and I think in general was an interesting race, or at least it seems like that to me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, pretty much sums up what I would say about the race too. Vice, how did you watch the race?
Yeah, well, I think it's also the same, but I enjoyed the fight of the DMF guys from Danielsson Motorsport guys and Christopher Larsson from Blue Flag. And I feel a little bit sorry for my teammate Andreas Löffler, because he made I think his 3rd pit stop already, and it was really over the finish line here.
Yeah, and he's a fast
car
guy.
is really beat up.
Oh my god. Okay, so not lucky day for the both of the Andreases. Hultgren couldn't really advance very much, could he?
Nope. Andreas is most of the time a pretty steady driver, but he told me just in front of the race that he had a lot of trouble with a Ferrari on this track. So.
Okay, Jose, I know we're on the last lap, and I know Roland Ehnström deserves it, but we must go to position number 9 and 10, because Kevin Clark is now fighting with Hannu Karesula for position number 9 and 10. They were just out on camels, side by side, and both of them, obviously, with their tires completely gone, struggling just to get them to the turns, and it's a massive fight out there.
Yes, we are following them.
Finished.
Alright, so we are with Kevin Clark and Hannu Karesula. They're in double gauche. And notice the very extremely careful line that Karesula there is taken. And now defensive line again, moving to the inside very early so that Clark has no chance of putting his Porsche past. The Porsche obviously faster here, but Karesula doing whatever is possible to a gentleman to keep Clark behind. And now out onto Courbe Paul Frere, and then out onto the very long Blanchimont Straight. And Karesula has a lot of speed on the straight, but Clark is getting closer. Clark could be in the slipstream. Let's hope everything works out as they approach the bus stop. Yeah, Clark too far away. Karesula, another defensive line. Clark with his splitter, and there's the push. There's the little push by Clark, but Clark, very gentleman, he waits for Karesula to recover. Brilliant there. Well done, Kevin Clark. He waits for Karesula, and if I'm not mistaken, he has another lap to catch him, doesn't he?
Nope.
No, oh no, they're approaching the finish now.
Oh my god. That's Andreas. Driving backwards.
And Kevin Clark is in 10 and Hannu Karesula in 9. He managed to still defend that position. That was a huge and close battle. So, race is over, guys. Mr. Roland Ehnström has won the Sim Racing Team Challenge race at Spa-Francorchamps. And let me give you a rundown of the points that the teams have gathered here. Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, team number 1, finishes in 1 and 8, which gives them 32 plus 19 points, which is 51 points altogether. DHR GP finishes in 3 and 4, which gives them 26 and 23 points, 49 points, 2 points less than Danielsson. And the Roaring Pipes Maniacs finishing in 2 and, as we've just seen, in 9, gives them 29 and 18, which comes up to 47, 2 points less than DHR. That means after this race, the standings, provisional standings, would be DHR GP 213 points plus 49 comes up to 259, 262. Danielsson Motorsport Virtual gaining 2 points on them would be in the lead with 1 point. They would be back to number 1. And the Roaring Pipes Maniacs losing 2 points to DHR GP would mean that they would now be 8 points down, but still very much in the race. So, Danielsson Motorsports Virtual, with a fantastic ride by their top driver Roland Ehnström, have recovered their number 1 spot. Congratulations to them. Well done. I suppose Keithley, but I'm not quite sure. Haha. Well, the race is done, and as usual, we have the top three here for interview. And the race over, we have the top three people here for the usual interview. And if I'm not mistaken, the winner, Mr. Roland Ehnström, should be with me now. Roland, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Brilliant. Another outstanding performance by you. Congratulations. Your comments on the race.
Thank you very much. Well, that was basically the perfect race for me, actually. To get pole with a big margin, helped by the weather, I think some of the others struggled a bit. And then I got a big gap in the beginning, and, well, that was it.
Just took it from there. There was an interesting scene pretty much towards the end of the race. You were approaching your two teammates from the Team 2 who were fighting with my teammate, Christopher Larsson from Blue Flag Racing, and you very nearly got shot off the track in the bus stop corner, weren't you?
Yeah, I saw when I left Larsson, I think he didn't see that my teammate was trying to follow me around, so they hooked together. And I saw all of that in the rearview mirror, so I just let the car go straight in the bus stop chicane just to keep out of the way.
And it worked perfectly. We were all holding our breath here because it was on the screen. We were live there, and we thought, oh my God, they're taking out the leader.
Yeah, well, I had a big margin, so I could take it safe there. I guess if I only had the 2 or 3 seconds to the next guy, I would have probably tried to turn in, and then maybe would have been a bit close. But now I could take the safe route, so no problem.
Yeah, well done. So we figured out the points already, and you've scored 2 points more than the DHR GP, so that means you're back at the top of the table. Good news for you.
Yeah, that's excellent. Now just keep this big gap to the end of the season then.
Yeah, thank you very much. Big gap, 1 point. That, of course, was sheer irony by Mr. Roland Ehnström, the winner of the STC race. Thank you very much, Roland. And second position, if I'm not mistaken, was Rami Kaukola of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. Rami, are you with us? Silence from Finland, but let's try third position. DHR GP racer Jack Keithley is with us. Jack, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, Jack, some comments from you on the race. It was a pretty close fight in the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first stint battling with the RPM guys was a lot of fun, very intense at the same time. Just sorry about the tap I gave to Rami in the first lap, though, by the way. I didn't know if he turned in or if I went high, but he got back in me later on anyway.
Yep, it was in Bruxelles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That 180-degree turn pretty shortly after Kemmel. So, yeah, he went off a little, but he could regain, couldn't he? So then you had pretty much your teammate behind you for most of the second stint, didn't you?
Yeah, but I think he had a problem, though, because he let me by and then he just stayed there for the whole race and he just tried to fend off Mike and he done that successfully, so good third and fourth.
Yep, but I'm afraid to say we figured out the points, and Danielsson Motorsports have passed you by just 1 point, so even with a third and a fourth, brilliant results. Admittedly, you're down to position number 2.
Oh, we can get that back.
Yeah, well, it's only 1 point, isn't it? But Roland Ehnström was talking about that huge lead that they were now going to take through the season.
Yeah, big, isn't it?
Certainly is. So, thank you very much, Jack Keithley, for a great show here for us, position number 3, and congratulations again to your podium position.
Thank you very much.
And let's hope that from Finland, Rami Kaukola of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs is now with us. Rami, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Very good to hear. So, position number 2 for you. Can you tell us what happened to your teammate who lost many positions due to a second pit stop?
He was not taking any fuel with that first pit stop, so that was the problem.
Too bad. There must have been something wrong with the settings there, or the settings were correct and the game just didn't accept them. So, but your race was pretty perfect, wasn't it?
Yes, it was quite perfect when I was able to pass those guys in front. The first stint was very interesting, and second stint was just driving.
Which is fair enough at your speed, just driving. I mean, most of us would be dreaming of doing that speed, but any problems with the lapping, or is that track here easy to lap guys?
No, not any problem. So maybe 10th time passing someone, so it was easy.
Okay, so the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, you finished in 2nd and in 9th, which means in the overall standings you lose 4 points to Danielsson Motorsports and 2 points to DHR GP, but you're still close. Do you think this fight of the 3 big teams will go on for the rest of the season?
Yes, let's hope so, and we'll try to get the Habas on the track too.
The mighty Habas might be there, and but let's not forget that DHR GP also have a couple of great racers. Not that the racers today weren't great at all. I mean, Keithley and Korkiakoski are superb racers, but they have a whole lineup of those. But so do you, and so do Danielsson Motorsport. So we're in for some serious fights even in the last races of the season, aren't we?
Yes, it's going to be hard.
Well, that rounds off the race for today. Thank you very much, Rami Kaukola. 2nd position for you. Congratulations again.
Thank you, and congrats to Roland. He tried awesome.
Absolutely awesome, yes. An awesome win by Roland Ehnström for Danielsson Motorsports. They take back the lead, if only with 1 point. And Jose, a very last comment from you before we finish off this broadcast.
Yes, say thanks to all the drivers for being present and for offer us a good show. I think it was really interesting race.
Yeah, thanks also from me to Wietse Visser, who jumped into the pace car with just 3 seconds to go in the warm-up and did a great job there. Thank you again, Wietse. And a big shame here for Team GG, whose home race it was and who went home with no points at all. Sorry, mates, it's going to be way better next time, I'm quite sure of that. Hope you're with us next time. This was your friendly voice, Eckart von Glan, coming to you from Spa-Francorchamps, the Sim Racing Team Challenge. Bye-bye and good night.